November 2015. We didn't have a building and we didn't have our own equipment, but what we did have was desire to do something big and the power of God to move mountains. These were our humble beginnings. On November 2nd, 2015, we held our very first class with 3 fighters and 2 cornermen. Since we were coming off Halloween weekend, we had a fun-themed workout. Making the best of the equipment that was available from Strikeforce MMA, we launched our programs and started fighting back. And of course, we had to end with a fun photo to celebrate Halloween. In January 2017, we were given 30 days notice to find a new facility. And at the time, this seemed a bit overwhelming. Not only were we in need of a new facility, but in all likelihood, we would need equipment. With just 1 week left in January, we were blessed by a local church and given a building to use. The building was being used as a storage repository and was in need of a lot of remodeling to make it functional for us. There had been a leak in the roof, causing the carpeting to be destroyed, and much of the sheetrock needed to be replaced. The building had divided rooms and needed to be converted to a more open concept, and the ceilings were too low to accommodate some of our activities. So the drop ceiling had to be removed and all new lighting installed. But if we were willing to put in the work, we had a donated building to use, along with donated electricity and water. We set up several work days, and church volunteers, along with our fighters, came out to make it happen. We converted the dilapidated building into a workable space that we hope to call home for about 3 years while we work to fundraise to ultimately purchase our forever home. While there was plenty of construction going on, there were other workers behind the scenes. People were picking up trash and swabbing the bathrooms so that they would be usable for us. We had folks in the back part of the warehouse cleaning the new foam mats that would be laid down on the floor, and then our OT students who installed them the night before we had our first class. We even had some former co-workers from Savannah Riverside helping us to build a handicap ramp and access to get into the building. And still other volunteers worked on refreshing the outside of the building by painting and pulling up weeds and trash around the perimeter. We were still faced with the issue of not owning any of our own equipment. We set out to purchase what we could afford, which started off in small quantities, and in some cases, we built the equipment we needed. While we were working hard to resolve the equipment issue, God was in the background working His miracles yet again. One of our cornermen saw a listing on a local garage sale website. The listing indicated that a franchise workout center, 9 Rounds, was closing in our area and all the equipment was being sold. We reached out to them and were able to purchase the bulk of their equipment. How awesome is it that their facility focused on boxing for exercise? We purchased their Mylar mirrors off the wall, their ceiling fans, their padded floors, and lots of stuff in between. We had some bumps and setbacks along the way. A water leak caused us to have to pull up a lot of the flooring and then put in a French drain around half the perimeter of the building. Again, we were blessed as a local company, Quality Stormwater Solutions, stepped in to install the French drain and deliver the gravel to cover it. We supplied the manpower to spread the gravel. Elam and Bruce showed up, and we all got poison ivy together. Then the news came that the church had merged with another church and would be consolidating into one campus. They would be listing the downtown Fenwick property for sale, and we would ultimately need to find a new home sooner than expected. Not knowing how quickly the property would sell, but recognizing that it was in the heart of the medical district and would probably be purchased quickly by Augusta University, we decided to be proactive and start our search immediately. God showed up again as we searched tirelessly to find the perfect forever home. When we located a potential facility, the old Handy Hardware, it looked as though it might not work out, as the asking price was outside of our budget. The owners asked to meet with us, and they listened intently to our story. When we had finished, they asked if we genuinely felt that God had led us to do this ministry. And when we replied that we did, they said, "Well, we are not in the business of going against what God wants." And with that, they lowered the asking price to be within our budget. And on top of all that, they allowed us to lease the building for the first year with an unheard of 100% of the lease payments going towards the purchase price. This allowed us to continue our fundraising efforts and still proceed with relocating. We took possession of our forever home on October 1st, 2018, but there was significant work that needed to be done before we could hold classes. We set about getting materials delivered, framing up the walls, and installing a knee wall to direct incoming traffic to the locker room area. We tore down the changing rooms and removed shelves, and we brought out crews to install the sheetrock and family to help us sheetrock around some of the exposed structural girders. Then we brought in some of the friendliest and happiest painters once again to help bring life to this rather plain interior. As we began to envision how the gym would be set up, one of the biggest challenges was to determine how to hang the heavy bags. The ceilings in the new facility are 24 foot at the highest point, so hanging them from the ceiling was not an option unless they hung along a wall, and that would use a lot of wall space and would not allow full 360-degree movement around the bag. Remember our humble beginnings? That MMA school had a heavy bag structure made out of red iron that was installed in the building. With God's perfect timing, a for lease sign went up in the window of that old MMA school. The windows were blacked out, so we couldn't tell if that red iron structure was still there. However, a quick phone call to the realtor revealed that it was in fact left behind, and that they would donate it to us if we would remove it. That's a $10,000 structure. Donated. We built 2 structures to mount come-alongs on, and we went to work disassembling. 2 men, a lady, and some ingenuity, and we got that structure down. In the meantime, I spoke with a local trucking company and was able to get them to donate their services to truck the red iron beams to our new facility. The only catch was that we had to load and unload them. So I did what anyone would do. I contacted Hurt Rentals and was able to arrange the rental of 2 duct lifts to help us get these beams loaded. 40 foot long and 750 pounds is a little much to load by hand. A crew of volunteers showed up at the gym to help unload. And then 2 men, a lady, and 2 duct lifts went to work putting it up. And although the gym has changed in appearance each year, we continue to grow and improve. We added fall-safe flooring throughout the gym in 2020, and we are working on an expansion that includes a multi-purpose room to be used for training and our manual dexterity program. Together we have come a long way. Thank you all for allowing me to come along on this journey with you.